Thing I've learned about when you're on a platform like YouTube or TikTok or whatever, you gotta be thick-skinned. Yeah, let's talk about it. Well, hey YouTube fam, this is you girl. I'm sorry I've been kind of MIA again. I've been contemplating, you know, I just don't know where to start with this. Anyways, I always try to, I want to be a very positive person. I want to be positive, and I want to make people smile, and I want to make people happy. And y'all know, if you know me, my content is just rando. And I think that is okay. That's unique. That's what makes all of us unique. You know, we're on here, we're on a platform, we're putting our lives out there, and we're just random. Or I am. I'm not an expert at anything. I am over 50. I've shared with you about my ADHD struggles. I work in a funeral home. I'm an apprentice as a funeral director apprentice. You know, and I just share with you the things. I mean, yeah, I'm a very frugal shopper. I love to go to Goodwill, and I have resale booth, and so I just am very open, and I share with y'all the things that I've tried and that I like. And anyways, so it comes to this. So I know I've needed to post, but I've not been real consistent lately, simply because I have been extremely busy with work. And of course, then working on my apprenticeship. I'm got to be typing up some cases that I haven't done yet. And of course, the next 2 weeks I'm having to work at another location other than where I normally work. So that's kind of got me stressed out, because they kind of do things different than we do at my location. For God's sake, they still use electric typewriters. I mean, I do all of my designing, everything on a computer. And yes, I learned how to type on a manual typewriter 400 years ago. But yeah, this is 2025. I shouldn't still be having to use a typewriter. I mean, I didn't even know if they still made like a cartridges. So anyways, that's kind of had me stressed and kind of had me bummed. I absolutely love the people I work with, but I don't like the way they do things. They're kind of still back in the prehistoric ages. So anyways, I'm getting to the point, I promise. So this week I was kind of reading through some of my comments, and I apologize that I haven't commented back to y'all. It's not that I'm ignoring you or not posting. It's just I'm a little overwhelmed right now, which is normal for me. So I received a comment on one of my videos, and it was about my review of Misfit Market. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm being honest with you. I'm not going to feed you a bunch of BS. I get nothing from I do have an affiliate link for Misfit Market, but I don't expect anybody to use it. I just put it on there so that y'all have a convenient way to get to it. I might get a little commission, but I don't think it's much. So anyways, so I got a comment, a very long comment on my on that particular, and don't go to it, because I took it off. You know, I should have left it on there. But then it was just like, it was her negative comment, her, him, whatever they were, negative comment. And then there was another one, and it was just like, I don't need this, you know. Maybe I'm in my feelings. You know, I do struggle with that, you know, the ADHD thing, where you're very sensitive to things. You know, people might say I'm very conscious about what if people are talking about me. You know, I'm one of those, I'm a people pleaser, okay? And so I've had a couple of rude comments, but I've kind of just went off. Well, basically, this person was calling me a liar, and about my review, and anyways, it really is stupid. And normally, like I said, I didn't want it to affect me. I didn't want it to bother me, but it has. And it's bothered me. And to the point that I just really thought, I'm shutting down my YouTube. I don't need this. I don't need the stress. I don't need to feel inadequate because of some stranger's comment. And like I said, she just made her, she, whatever, made a remark that my review is bogus, and that this lady, as she referred to me, is not telling the truth. And man, it just ate me alive, because if you knew me in person, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna feed you a bunch of crap. I mean, I'm just me, and anyways, it just really bothered me. And then I have to go back to the part, well, you're gonna put yourself out there, Candace, you need to be thick-skinned, and so anyways, I've been stewing on it all week, and I'll be honest, it hurt. I mean, I thought, but then I had to remember I have so many other followers that I absolutely love who check on me weekly, and y'all know who y'all are, and there's so many of y'all that just say, hey, hadn't seen you, so glad to see you. We're just kind of that tight-knit family. But then there's this one person, I can tell you, I think her first name was Barbara, and that person, and then of course I lost a follower, so I guess she unsubscribed. Okay, but just unsubscribe. You don't have to call me a liar, So, like I said, it's probably a really stupid rant, but I just want y'all to know, with somebody like me who has ADHD, and I have a fear, again, I am a people pleaser. I don't want anybody to ever think negative of me. So anyways, and I would never say anything bad to anybody. I mean, if I see something on your YouTube and I don't necessarily like it, I'm just gonna keep on going. I'm not gonna sit there and tell you that you're a liar and that you're not telling the truth, So anyways, yeah, that's where I'm at. And I know, and so like I said, I've been weighing my options. Okay, I may just shut my YouTube down, I mean, my goal not only was to just share my life and share my craziness, and I have met an amazing group of people because of my YouTube, and I just want women who are younger than me and who are going to be facing being 50 and living single and just living life, So anyways, it comes to this. So yesterday I was still feeling kind of blue about this comment, and so I, me, I dress a little, I love floral. I wear a lot of floral. So yesterday I went into, I had to go pick up a pizza for myself and my coworkers, and so I had on this like floral little top, my little kimonos I tell you I wear, and I got it at Savers or Goodwill. Maybe, I think I got that one at Savers. It's really cute. I think I paid $4.99 for it. It was super cute. And then I had a necklace. I don't know. I think I've showed y'all. I don't know if I've showed y'all that necklace, but I will show you a picture. But anyways, it was a necklace with little flowers on it, and then my big floral earrings. And so I'm still stewing on this comment. So I walk into this place, and I go up to the bar to pick up my pizza, and this young gentleman was just so sweet, and he said, I love your look. He said, man, you're got all those flowers on. Of course, he might have been just deep down thinking, this woman is crazy, but she dresses strange. But I was talking to him, and I was talking to the other people there at the bar, the workers, and they were like, man, you just look really nice. And I said, well, it's kind of funny, I'm a funeral director. And they're like, no way, you're kidding, and I'm like, yeah, we don't all wear black, and we're all not depressing. And they said, well, he said, I love that necklace, and you just look really, he said, your hair looks amazing. And I'm not saying this because I just needed that moment. I needed somebody to tell me something positive to kind of get me through this comment that was on my YouTube. And So anyways, I was talking to them, and we were talking about, you know, going back and forth about me working in a funeral home and my loud clothes. And I said, well, you know, it's taken me 59 years to get to this point in my life to just not really care. I mean, I dress what I want. I wear what I want to. You know, my sister sent me a meme one day, and it said something about some people grow old and some people grow old and just dress weird. And that is me. And it's not so much I dress weird, I just wear what I want and wear what I like. So anyways, the young man, he and his boss there, they were so sweet to me. And, you know, we talked about, and you know, and they were younger, and I just said, you know, live your life and the way you want to. And I said, I live my life out loud. And so I had to go back to thinking about, okay, Candace, you know, why did you start this YouTube channel? Why, you know, well, I started it mainly because I kind of wanted to, you know, talk about the things I like and the things I do, and share the things, you know. And then I thought, you know, I don't have any grandchildren, but hopefully someday I have grandchildren. And if I'm not on this earth, when I have grandchildren, I would kind of want them to kind of have an idea of what their grandma was like, you know. So anyway, so that another reason. And I just truly love people. I absolutely love people. I mean, I meet so many different kinds of people. And, you know, when you meet people, like, especially in the funeral industry, you meet so many different kinds of people. One thing in common, grief. But then you get to know them, and then as you see them months later, as they're progressing and as they're trying to get through the grief process and stuff, and then you see, well, they're really just an amazing person. You know, they were experiencing grief, and, you know, and then they'll come to me months later, you know, and say, you know, I really appreciate you because you were just so sweet, and you were just so nice, and you just, you know, and if somebody needs a hug and if they need a shoulder to cry on, I'm here. I got 2 of them. God gave me 2, and they're still in pretty good shape. So I take that very seriously. And like I said, maybe it's me being the people pleaser in me, but I also feel, like I said, I have a true passion for people. I like all kinds of people. Now, sometimes I meet people like who this person left a comment. I probably really did like her at one time, but now I'm thinking, I just don't know I like her anymore. But, you know, I remember one time when I was a little girl, and I said something about hating somebody. And I remember my daddy ripped me a new one, and he told me, he said, you don't hate anybody. You might dislike them, but you don't hate anybody. And I don't. Now, there's some things, some people that have done some things that are just really, really, really just get to me. Like right now, I'm kind of going through a situation like that in a whole different situation. And I don't hate that person, but right now, I don't like them. I don't really like them because they're hurting somebody that I love. And somebody that I love is suffering because of this person. And I can't do anything about it. So that's a whole nother story. But I can remember my daddy told me, you don't hate anybody. You might dislike somebody. Same thing that my dad used to tell me. There's no such thing as bad people. Now I have to beg to differ on this one. He'd say, Candy, there's no such thing as bad people. There's people that do bad things. Now I do believe that in a sense, but I do believe that there are some people that are just really, 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 really mean and not right. Of course, that was a whole different time when my dad would tell me stuff like this. He said, people are not bad. There's no bad people. People just do bad things. But I have to kind of look back on that and think, no, there are some bad people. People make bad choices. Anyways, enough of my rant. I've missed you guys, and I truly appreciate those of you who have supported me on this little journey. Yeah, I have thought about just shutting my channel down, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I need to put it on the back burner for now. If you've had situations like this, you know, how do you handle them? I mean, other than I drink a lot. I drink a lot of Diet Dr. Pepper. That's one thing I've had to learn, is I gotta be thick-skinned. And my daughter has told me that because she's been on platforms before, and I don't know if it was just everything in general, me having to work somewhere else, and I don't know, but I'm gonna be honest, it hurt me, it bothered me, it really did, and I'm not gonna have that on my, I'm not gonna have that, you know, and maybe it messed my algorithm up or whatever, I don't know, but I don't want that person on my channel, you know, I don't want your negative comments, I don't want your negativity, I don't need it. And so I did delete that comment, and if I could ban that person, if I could figure out how to do that, I would do that too. You know, I mean, I don't want to, because I would like to maybe us hash this out and figure it out, but I don't think it's going to be, because I think that person was just being very facetious and very hateful, and just, you know, just calling somebody, basically calling them a liar, and on a public platform. So that's just not right. It's not right. Anyways, fam, it's been great to talk to y'all again. I've missed you guys so much, and let me know in comments how you handle all this negative, these boneheads that you just, I don't know. How do you handle them? How do we fix this mean people, this negativity? You know, how do we do it? Anyways, see you soon.